Like, what advice would you give students on selecting a college?
Yeah. So when I chose to go to Boise, I'll be honest, I wasn't exactly looking at things for the best reason. So the advice part of this question would be a lot better. But I wanted to, at the time, I thought about football stuff, like top level. Like I wanted to play. I wanted to play for a program that was known, or at least had some level of notoriety. Um, and also I wanted a challenge. I wanted a challenge coming from LA. I wanted to live in an environment, LA, like many cities that you guys are from, like San Diego, it's a concrete jungle in a sense. It was very important for me to think about, okay, I want to go live in a different place and experience life at a different speed and tempo, to learn more about myself. Um, but some advice going forward, as you guys make this decision in your futures, and maybe some of you guys in your right now, is not just looking at those surface level factors like I mentioned, but think about your life after college. Think about, what do you want to major in? Like, what do you really want to do? And is that school going to contribute to that career path? And is the actual school going to give you a credential and a degree in that field that is respected in the professional space, for one, but then two, how does their alumni network, how can the alumni network help you get there as well? So just looking at things like, because when you're playing ball and you're playing sports, and when you're just younger, you don't have the experience that you have. I'm 31 years old. I'll be 32 next week. So obviously I know this stuff now in hindsight, but like, you're going to be an adult a lot longer than you're going to be a college football player or a college student. You know what I'm saying? So thinking about how can you take that institution and sorry, how can that institution serve the rest of your life? And it's school, it's career path. But then the last thing I'll say is like mission alignment, like making sure that the university, speaks to you, that they care about your heritage, they care about your legacy, they're thinking about, you as a person and not just you as an asset. All of those things are important, man. And that would be my advice for all you guys.
Man, that's big. I like how you said, think about the school can help you. Cause like I know when I went to Boise, right? Like I didn't think about how the school could help me, right?
Not
Like
at all.
you know what I mean? It was like I'm going here to play ball.
Right.
I know they got, when I came and looked at the team, I'm like, man, they got some guys on that team. We could be really really good. And the coach was like, you can play as a true freshman. I was like, ah, okay, bet. I'm going
There
up
you
there.
go.
I know I'm gonna beat some people. And obviously, like I clicked with guys like you, Jerron, right? Like George,
Hmm.
Faraji. So it was easier. But to think about the life after football, you know what I mean? Like I know even when we talked last year about like creating the app, you was like, man, tap into Boise. Um, if you go into their tech program, you can find somebody to create an app for you. And it was just like it's something I've never thought about,
Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
being able to go back, like you said, in what can this college do for me? Like, right, how is it going to help me network? Like, I was talking to a guy yesterday, right? Because like I'm doing like some wholesaling off
Yeah.
site, and then so I called Mike T,
Yeah.
and I haven't talked to Mike T in like 5 years, and Mike T was like, "Oh yeah, I send you some listings right now," and it was like to be able to do that, like to keep that network around, just because we were so tight knit and so
Yeah.
close. I'm able to just reach out to guys. So I think
Right.
that's huge. Yeah, I know Theron has the next question. Theron, you got it.
Yep. All right, so J Rob, a lot of our students want to attend college like outside of their, where they're at now. So San Diego and Florida. So, kids want to go to Oregon, Seattle,
Hmm.
all over the place, right? So, could you say like what it was like stepping outside of your comfort zone, being from LA and going to Boise? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was a very unique experience. For all you all guys and girls that may be in thinking about this, like it's going to be like nothing you've ever experienced, right? Like just these smaller college towns, the speed and the tempo, and the pace, is a lot different, polar opposites, of what we're used to in big, municipalities and cities. So just that is going to be a huge culture shock. Um, but what I found, and I started to do once I figured that out, I've always been like a internet guy. Like I'm since I was a kid. I played ball, but like I was either on the field practicing, or I was in the computer or on the computer trying to download something and break into somebody's server. Which don't do that. But I spent a lot of time off the field in Boise, like on the computer and learning things, like taking advantage of the silence to really learn myself. A lot like you guys, like I grew up in my family's household. So when I was 18, 17, 18, I knew what they taught me, but I didn't really know what I liked, what I wanted. I didn't get a chance to explore life at my own, disposal. So I really took upon this time and this freedom and this space and this slowdown to really just learn myself, read, get on the internet, build connections with people, like find communities. And that's when I really started to learn about entrepreneurship, like, and really start to, I didn't have, parties like I got my guys that went to USC and UCLA, like, y'all in Hollywood, it's lit, like, or, even San Diego State, Gas Lamp, you get, it's lit. But in Boise, it was really none of that. So with that off time, I really took it as a chance to learn myself, learn about my interests, and figure out how I could start to make some steps and make some growth when I was finished with school. But I will say too, what helps as an athlete, and maybe some of you will have this luxury, some of you won't, is I had a community in the locker room of people that were, for the most part, from where I'm from, or from places like where I'm from, or having the same experience. And I think, Jamar, you can speak to this. We kind of all connected on that front. So we would do our Thanksgiving dinners together. We would do barbecues. We would get together. Like, and that's how you can start to build a community, even though you're in this space of a new. So if you're a regular student, I would just, try to join associations, try to join organizations. If you have fraternities, different clubs, like that's where you're going to find like-minded people in your tribe. And then that will help that experience be a little bit more, or that transition rather, be a little bit more smooth.
Okay, so my next question, J Rod, right? We have a ton of students in here, like they want to be entrepreneurs, right? That's been like, I think as the generations go, everybody's realizing like that's the move, right?
Uh-huh.
So you've entered into entrepreneurship. Like, what's the best thing about being your own boss?
Yeah, I was looking forward to this question, because like the thing is, I want to start by saying this: no matter if you're the boss, you're not the boss. You're not the boss. You're never the boss, because you any business stays afloat based off the transactions and the products and services that it creates, and the customer's willingness to buy that. So even if you're a solo entrepreneur and you're on Instagram and you're selling classes, you're not the boss. The customer is the boss. Yeah, you have the title, but there's always, and I say that because I so many people, and myself included, even a little bit when I was younger, it's like you want to get into entrepreneurship and you think it's like this power system where it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna run things, I'm gonna do this, I want control. So many, and it might work for you. Some people can pull it off, but it's never that way. It's never that way. You're never the boss. You really are the servant, right? So that's like right here. I'll show you guys just to put some proof. So this is like my computer. This is my tab right here. It says service first. Like every day when I'm working, that's the most important thing that's on my mind, service, because that's what it is. Either you serve your team, you serve your employees, you serve your market. It's a service industry. But like, I get the question. I understand the question. So to answer the question, the best part about being an entrepreneur and being the CEO is being able to control the creative vision of an enterprise. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to assume we're a lot alike. But when I was a kid, man, I used to have ideas galore. Like I had an idea for everything. I would, draw brands in class with my girlfriend's initials. I would make a cologne. I would, all these things. And, when you're younger, no one's like really giving you a chance to do those things, right? So, and I take that energy and I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna be an entrepreneur one day, and I'm gonna be able to do it my way, and like, do it the way I see it, and complete my vision. That's the coolest part about this thing, man, is I could wake up tomorrow, it probably wouldn't be the smart thing to do, but if the data showed it was a smart thing to do, we could sell socks. And no one could tell me I can't sell socks. Like, I don't have to answer to anybody other than my customer, like I said, in my team. But like, if it, I can make that creative vision come to life, and to be able to just live in a world where, it feels awesome, man. Like anything I think of, anything I think of, and again, you always want to have checks and balances, and you want to confirm that these are good ideas. But assuming they are, you don't have to wait for somebody else's permission to go down that path. Like that's the cool, like, to be able to, like, playbook 5, man. And I don't want to spend too much time on this question, but playbook 5 is a result of me having a vision of something I wanted to exist in the world, and it exists in the world, and it will exist in the world as long as I allow it. There's nothing cooler than that. Like that is by far the biggest accomplishment of my life, to be able to wake up every day and say, like, you know what, like, I can, this thing that started right here as an idea at a conference table in Philadelphia is now servicing thousands of athletes around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the power of entrepreneurship, is when you can take your visions, your idea, these little thoughts in your head, take it from a thought into a tangible item, into a tangible product or service, and have people engage with it. Like that's why you do it.
Yeah. I like it.
Appreciate it. All right. So we have some students who kind of broken out of their shell as we in the academy, but how do you go about like networking and, stepping out of your comfort zone and talking to different people, and what is the value of networking?
Yeah. So networking is, the whole old saying goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's very much so true. Now you need to know a lot and be informed and be skilled, but who you know will do a lot more for you, and can, or has the potential to do a lot more for you than what you know. So networking is everything, man. Everything I have is built on networking. Boise, I mentioned an alumni network. Unfortunately, we don't have the greatest. We didn't, and it's getting better with things like this. And Jamar mentioning Mike T and us trying to create that energy. But I had to go out and network and create and just travel the world, really, and just find people that could help me on my path. And what I found in that is just always be a giver first. Like always have something to offer. And there's a really good book on this I want to share you guys, called Give and Take. It's by author, I believe his name is Adam Grant. And if anybody's interested in this book, if you get my information from Jamar, if you email me, I'll get you this book. I'll order it for you, because I think it's one of the most important books I read as a young entrepreneur, to learn about the laws of reciprocity and understanding the way things work. And it really breaks the people down into 3 groups. I won't give you guys all the whole book, but it's givers, takers, and matchers, right? And really what it talks about is, like, the giver is the person that never goes without. So even when you're networking, before it's like, okay, I'll give you guys a real example. I have a friend that works at Nike, very high up. Every other one of his friends are like, hey, give me some J's, give me some shoes. Like, how can I always think, how can I help him? How can I serve him? How can, and not even worry about it coming back. But it always does, though. But it just means a lot more. Like, that relationship is a lot more solid. It's less like, oh, I'm trying to get something from you, but it's me coming and saying, I'm trying to give something for you. I'm trying to make your job easier. And when you start doing that for people, you'll find lifetime allies. And that's what networking is about. You want lifetime allies. You want people that are going to be willing to stand on the table for you, like literally grab you and take you in the room and stand on the table for you. And you do that by providing something to them first before you have an ask. And I'm like, yesterday, we went for a run, and the Drew League Air Force Ones just came out, and I'm like, yo, you should think about sending Drake a pair. He hadn't thought about sending Drake a pair as the marketing guy for Nike. I just made his job easier. I just probably took, who knows what that's going to do for their sales. And that means something to him. But again, it's me giving, not saying, hey, can you send me a pair of the Drew League Air Force Ones? Like, no, get it. Like, do your job and do it better. So just to make those connections, think about providing a service and giving to people. Hope that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Any quick life skills advice you'd like to give the students?
Yeah, hold on. It's hold on. It's kind of calling me. Can you guys see me? Yeah. Um, yeah. So as all you guys kind of go about this journey, like you're gonna be successful. Like I can tell you that from just you guys being here today. If you're here, you know, there's a 90% chance, 99% chance you're gonna be successful in whatever path you guys choose. And what happens with success is you start to get power and you start to gain influence. And when you have both of those things, you have the ability to, and you have a responsibility, I should say, to improve outcomes for other people. And it's a team game. So what I would say is, you know, but I'll say this: everyone's still going to come to you for the decision because you're the one, right? And when you're making these tough decisions, and Coach Pete, who you guys were able to hear speak earlier in the seminars, he used to tell me about this, and it's this idea of like intellectual honesty. And when you're making decisions, are you trying to be right, or are you trying to do what's best for the team? And that becomes like your gauge every time you have to make a decision. It's because you're going to have to make tough decisions as a successful, powerful, influential person. You're going to have to make tough decisions. And when you're making these decisions, constantly coming back to like, all right, is this what's best for the team, or do I want to be right? And if you can take that approach to every single decision you have to make, your team will be happy and sky's will be the limit, and you'll keep your ego out of it, because that's what egos tank empires, you know, like the disease of me. Every time, every industry, every civilization, if you study the world, you study history, egos are the things that, or is the thing rather, that takes people down. So in order to keep that ego in check, as you kind of have to make these decisions, is like, all right, is this what's best for the collective, or am I just trying to be right, or am I trying to win? And I feel like if you can master that question and apply it to every single decision, your team will always be happy and they'll always respect your decisions.